What are the traffic volumes on the N3 at this point? Have they surpassed the 2,000 vehicles per hour as yet?
Good evening, Funda, and good evening to all your viewers. Traffic today has been fairly busy, but no, we did not reach the 2,000 vehicle per hour mark today. We reached just shy of that at about 1,900 vehicles an hour earlier during the day, and we're currently sitting at just over 1,500 vehicles northbound at the Dhoogra Plaza.
All right, somewhat steady. Are you expecting higher volumes, though, perhaps tomorrow, or people are now planning ahead and trying to stagger their travel?
Our forecasts were that we would experience really high traffic volumes yesterday and today. Our expectation is that during the course of the week, the traffic volume should subside quite substantially, especially with most people returning to work during the course of this week and obviously with schools reopening next week. So for the most part, no, I think we hopefully will be over the really bad peaks.
Okay, and what have the patterns been like? Were you seeing increased volumes in the afternoons in comparison to the evening or vice versa?
Actually, surprisingly, we were seeing really high volumes starting from fairly early in the morning. So I'm hoping that it's because people were paying attention to all of the warnings about, possible congestion and delays on the route. So we've had busy or observed busy traffic from fairly early, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning already, and lasting until fairly late in the afternoon. Yesterday, traffic only subsided after 8 o'clock in the evening.
All right, so people have been heeding your call to prepare and travel as early as possible. But in terms of accidents, particularly during the day in comparison to the night, what has it been looking like?
Well, we have unfortunately recorded a number of incidents which tragically involve the loss of life. But fortunately, the majority of crash incidents that have been recorded have not resulted in any significant delays or disruptions to traffic flow on the route.
Okay, at least that's a relief. But then to this one, many people always tell you to use alternative routes. They encourage us to actually use regional roads. But these roads are not in the best condition. Is this honestly advisable, or just we must continue to prepare and leave a bit earlier?
Well, I think the best is always to be prepared. And, obviously, the N3 is one of the best highways, best world-class highways in the country. So, if you have a choice, that would be the route that we would suggest. But obviously, delays and congestion are inevitable, especially when you're dealing with significant peak volumes of traffic. And also when you factor in driver behavior, because often, drivers not adhering to the rules tend to contribute to crash incidents, which add to the delays. And, especially when you're nearing the end of your vacation, people are impatient to get home, and that tends to make them more eager to try alternatives. But the best is always to plan ahead, be prepared, follow official news channels, and look to the N3 toll route, for example. At N3 route will give you the most up-to-date information about what's happening on the route.
Now, speaking of driver behavior, what are the most common transgressions? Are we seeing people that are drinking liquor, or it's perhaps impatience where they're overtaking and that results to an accident? What are you seeing on the roads?
Well, historic stats have shown that human behavior and driver error is one of the highest causes of crash incidents, and especially single vehicle crash incidents. What we have observed over the festive season is that some people do tend to be ignoring the rules of the road and using excessive speed and, driving fairly recklessly. We've also found that despite the fact that we're encouraging people to please adjust their driving style to prevailing weather conditions, as we've had quite a bit of rain, people don't tend to listen to that, and they misjudge the amount of time and distance they require to stop appropriately, and they can't do so in wet and rainy conditions, which has led to a number of bumper crashes. But, apart from that.
Thania, I've never understood why people actually speed when it's raining, because that's the one time you would want to slow down. But always happens. Thank you very much, though, for your time. That was N3 Toll Concession Operational Manager Thania Dhoogra.